The NBA on NBC has decided to bring the king back into the fold.
They brought LeBron James in for some stupid reason?
I said the king, not the clown.
Well, you know all the LeBron fans are going to be like, LeBron's still playing for the Lakers. He ain't doing that.
Man, hold on. Hold on, folks. Okay. Since you bronsexuals still want to pose that argument, and there never has been an argument, and we're going to have a little fun today.
Oh, boy.
When I said the NBA and NBC decided to bring the king back, I did not mean LeBron. And these bronsexuals are still making the argument. So my message is the following. Dear bronsexuals, f*** you, you, and f*** you. Let's go.
Hey.
Can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning! Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
That damn seal.
Oh, yeah! Every fucking time that seal, dude.
Good morning. Welcome to the Taco Potluck Tuesday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have you all with us. And this first hour is, of course, powered by Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless. The Warriors are in trouble.
So ain't the Celtics.
Unadulterated trouble, because I will look in this camera and look everybody in the eye. For those of you who don't say I don't criticize my Warriors, there's nothing to criticize. They just have run into a better team.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just be real.
And let's also be real that the injury bug has been what's hurting them as well.
Yeah, they're not going to have Steph for Game 5. So pretty much this series has concluded. Wolves win last night, 117-110, highest point total for the Warriors in this series. And You know all the Warrior haters are coming out, but let me say something here. I picked the Warriors to win in 6 games. Yes, I did. But didn't realize they were going to lose Steph Curry at the top of game 1. And that has been the difference. The Wolves have gotten better. The Wolves have gotten stronger. And the Wolves have gotten their act together after losing game 1 in Minneapolis. Plus, factor in that the Warriors, doggone it, went 7 full games with the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, that's going to end up wearing them out as well.
Yeah. So you know what? They ran into a better team. Jimmy's doing all he can. Pajemski's doing all he can. Save your hatred for Draymond Green for somebody else. Save it for LeBron, for that matter. Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, to counter that, dude, my Celtics are in huge trouble as well.
Yeah. Tatum got injured last night, didn't he?
From what it looks like, it could be a season-ending Achilles injury.
Oh,
it was non-contact, no less. He went to make a play on the ball and immediately went down clutching it. 3 minutes to go in the game.
Oh man. Oh man.
They had to wheel him to the locker room.
Man, I feel for you, Jason Tatum. I do.
Unfortunately, I've got a bad feeling that not only is this going to be the end of the season for Tatum, it's going to be the end of the season for Boston, because we got come back into the Garden shorthanded, and there's no way right now we can do much of anything, because the Knicks have all of the Big Mo going for them.
Not only do they have the Big Mo, they have countered the Celtics in every way possible. Save game 3, every move that the Celtics made, the Knicks have had an answer.
Exactly.
See, this is the kind of, let me interrupt this for a minute. The morning shift is back. What's up, BS3, the morning shift? Good to have y'all back. Tom O'Boyle, good to have you here, coming from Reno. We're going to do a Women's Football Association update. If I get the chance, Thursday or Friday, we'll have it live here on the show. But let me just say a couple things. I feel the way Tatum went down, that was painful. Yeah, it was. And I just looked at it. I think Tatum is done at
for
least
this he's out for the rest of this series. And I would say he's out longer. I think if it's an Achilles, it's going to be probably a season
if it's
ender.
An Achilles.
If it's an Achilles, he's out for the year.
Yeah, that's a full year. And I fear the same for Stephen Curry.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a hamstring strain, but being an athlete, you know hamstrings are funny.
They are. And I know that the way Tatum was grabbing at the back of his leg immediately.
Yeah.
That's an Achilles.
Mm-hmm. And that's a year-long process. That's a year-long process. So I feel for you, JT, and I feel for the Boston Celtics, and I feel for the Warriors, not just because I'm a fan, but because of the way this series has gone. Both series have gone. The Knicks are a better team. They've proven it. And now you lose your captain or one of your co-captains. That's an epitaph.
It is.
Next season.
It really is.
BS3, if it's an Achilles, we might not see him until the beginning of 2027, and that is not far out of the question.
No, it's not. I mean,
that is
obviously we don't have the results of the MRI yet.
Right.
But the way it's looking, I mean, it's easy to speculate it's an Achilles because we've seen so many players go down that same way and grab the exact same spot.
Yeah, man. Recent, Kevin Durant.
Yes.
Kevin Durant. I hate
bad.
Seeing that. Look, you and I have been around sports for so many years, and we've seen that kind of injury. We've seen that kind of injury many, many times before, whether it's an Achilles, whether it's a back injury. But let's just focus on the Achilles because that seems to be the injury we're waiting on a confirmation. Thank you, Arku. There's another one. Tommy John
Tommy John's, yeah.
surgery.
Look at Shohei Ohtani. He had to get Tommy John's. He hasn't
Yep.
pitched. I mean, granted, he's still swinging the stick like no one's business, but he came in as a two-way player.
Mm-hmm. And back to the Warriors, the Wolves found the secret. They got physical with them, and they're so different without Steph on the floor, not being able to spread the floor. And it's cost them. It's cost them. And hey, to the Minnesota Timberwolves, they figured it out, and it appears they're gonna move on. I'm not sitting here crying about it like many people expect me to do. I'm not. I'm just speaking the truth. Let me touch on that for a moment, okay? Because I did a new thumbnail this morning with one of our new sayings for the show: all sports, no politics, pure passion.
Yep.
And that's on the heels of the last few days of people telling me what I should mix in to this sports talk show. Apparently, you missed the memo that this is a sports talk show.
This ain't the 4-letter network.
And it never will be. And good morning to A Pizzle, to Arku, Ryan McCoffey, Cole Johnson in the house with us.
If people want politics, man, if people want politics, go to C-SPAN. Go to Fox Nation.
Look, if you want politics, go to every other network that doesn't cover sports the way it should be, the way that doesn't cover sports the way we cover it.
Exactly.
That's all. That's it. And that's all.
It.
So you can't deal with it, get out our kitchen. And you're not allowed back. We'll pause here. When we come back, the NBA draft lottery.
Dude.
Me and Pizzle had a talk this morning.
Oh boy.
And he basically echoed what I have been thinking since 1985.
We may want to hold off on that because we just had somebody show up.
We'll wait on that too. We'll wait on that too. All right.
Ooh,
we got to get
one.
Trust me. We got to get reorganized. Let's take a break. More when y'all get back.
This is Snowman in the morning.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code Snowman for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
The spirit of battle is a powerful force. It's a force that drives us, pushes us beyond our limits. It's a fire in our hearts that fuels our determination, our commitment, our strive for greatness. Every challenge faced, every obstacle overcome, it sharpens our skills and fortifies our resolve. This relentless pursuit of excellence makes the journey so exhilarating. And the victory, it makes the victory sweet.
Hey everybody, Snowman here. Looking for the best way to experience live events? Well, SeatGeek has you covered. With just a few taps on your phone, you can find the best seats for concerts, sports, theater, and more. Don't miss out on unforgettable moments. Download the SeatGeek app today and get ready for an experience like no other. Each ticket is vetted for authenticity and ranked on a 1 to 10 scale. And right now, if you sign up and use the code Snowman, you will get $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Question of the day. High diving hare or Hiawatha's rabbit hunt?
How?
I thought you'd like that. Let's go down south. Jay Spivey joins us live, and oh, do we have some things to talk about. Good morning, Jay.
Good morning, gentlemen. I apologize for the pop-up this morning, but yesterday was nuts.
That would be an understatement. And we're going to feed right in to what A. Pizzle and I talked about briefly while I was on my walk this morning. The NBA draft lottery.
Do we think the fix is in to fix the Mavericks?
Yes.
Let me tell you something.
I mean,
I've
they had
said
almost
this-
no chance of winning last night and won.
None. They should not have won the lottery last night. Let me tell you something. And folks have heard me say this, and they think I'm a conspiracy theorist until they look up the evidence. I want you to go back to the first year this draft lottery BS started, 1985. The fix was in then for the Knicks to get Patrick Ewing. I don't even have to mention 2003, right? And then last night. What was that? What was that?
All the underdogs kept getting in the top four last night.
That last night was a pure case of what the hell?
Exactly.
Man, it looked like Cooper Flag was even shocked. Rolando Blackman was like, what am I doing up here?
Right. And then they're supposed to have fixed the fixing with ping pong balls.
Ah.
My next 4 words are as follows. Who told this lie?
Well, they got to steal. That's obvious.
That is monstrously obvious.
Nico Harrison has probably saved his job because of the lottery.
And you know what? Cole in the chat just said the most perfect thing. This is our comment of the day. The NBA was like, quote, you sacrificed Luka, and here is your reward.
Exactly.
Because that's exactly what the Mavericks got last night. A reward.
That's exactly right.
For trading Luka Doncic, in which Nico Harrison, get the quote ready if you would, Shane, please, in which Nico Harrison himself said, quote, I didn't realize how much Luka meant to the team.
Okay.
Close quote. In the immortal words of Red Fox, you big dummy.
And we got Droid joining us out of
He's
Kansas.
mad. He's gonna throw something at me because I just messed with him for a moment.
Are you just totally oblivious and blind to see how important Luka was to Dallas?
Exactly.
Blind, deaf, and dumb. You okay over there, Droid? What's going on?
I am upset at Adam Silver and Gary Bettman, respectfully.
Oh, boy.
Amen to both of those.
Both lotteries, I am going to say it, and I've been saying it, were rigged. You cannot have two teams that were 500 or close to 500 winning the first overall pick. It is ridiculous.
Listen, you can't, Droid, I agree with you. I totally agree with you about both the NBA and the NHL lotteries. And Jay, you mentioned something the last time you were here about scheduling. You want to tell me why both draft lotteries were scheduled on the same night?
Were they? Because I thought
No, they were not.
They were not?
No, the NBA draft lottery happened almost like about a week.
Okay, so
or 2 weeks after the NHL draft lottery, in which the Islanders won the first overall pick.
Right.
You know what, Droid? I want you to hold on to that until we come back from break, because I want you to go off on that. Sticking with the NBA lottery, the Bulls and the Mavericks, and thank you, Arku, for this piece of information, had the same odds. The same odds.
Go figure.
I feel bad for the Jazz, like so bad.
Yeah.
Finished dead last
Snowman, what have I
and
been telling
barely
you
even
for how many
cracked
years
the
now?
top five.
I told you who was not going to win last night.
Yeah. And I think we actually lost him because it looks like he froze up. But yeah, I mean, how does something like this happen?
I'll tell you, poor ownership of the league.
Yeah, I can see that.
It shouldn't happen.
It's ridiculous. This really shouldn't be happening. Because now they're trying to make sure that people have eyes on Dallas, because obviously number one pick is Cooper Flagg, and he's going to end up going to Dallas. So it's like, what in the world is going on here?
I still hate the whole play 1 year then leave. I still hate it so much.
I'll go back to what I said about Nico Harrison. He made, I don't care what who was it? Oh, it was what's his name? Bob, the analyst who was on ESPN last night.
I don't know. I didn't even watch the draft, to be honest, because I knew what was going to happen.
God, he used to be the general manager for the Warriors. Bob, what's his name? Gosh, mighty. Anyway, he said it was way overstated about how bad the trade was for the Mavericks and Lakers. Is he out of his mind? You trade an aging center for one of the best talents in the NBA. You look like a fool. You get screamed at, and he acts like, oh, we have to do it for the best interest of the team. And then he gets rewarded by winning the lottery last night and getting Cooper Flagg.
Oh. Yeah. Tell us the fix isn't in.
Well, like Snowman was, everybody knows the 85 lottery was rigged. Everybody knows it.
Oh, easily.
And I thought the Spurs were going to win last night. If they'd have done that and pulled that off by getting Robinson, Duncan, and Cooper Flag, that would have been amazing.
Yeah, that would have been huge for San Antonio, to be honest.
If they could pull it off 3 major times to get these guys, come on. Because they're not far away from being pretty good already.
Right. Now we got to deal with all of this going on. It's going to be insane to figure out now. You know, because, again, Adam Silver decided to be like this, and I just don't get it. I really don't.
Well, he's about ready to be, minus whoever wins the next Celtic series, he's about ready to be in some deep trouble because the ratings are going to be horrible for the rest of it.
Oh,
Because
easily.
the rest of them are small to mid-major markets.
Yeah, I mean, outside of New York, I mean, what's left?
Whoever wins the next Celtic series, other than them, nobody cares.
I mean, Indiana is going to end up going through Cleveland like there's no tomorrow. That's going to be said, done, and finished. So then it's likely going to be an Indy-New York matchup, whereas with the West, it's probably what? Denver, Minnesota?
Either Denver, Minnesota, Oklahoma City, and Golden State's done.
Yeah, Golden State's cooked. So it's either going to be Denver, Oklahoma City versus Minnesota.
Right.
What market is that going to appease?
That's my point. Other than New York, Boston, who do you have?
Got absolutely nobody. And that's the bad thing.
And it's not much better than the NHL.
No, it's really not. I mean
if they don't have Toronto win, and they need Toronto to win, if Toronto does not get in the Eastern Finals, they're in trouble.
Yeah, and that's
one of the fastest growing fan bases in NHL history belong to the Florida Panthers. They went from barely even selling a ticket every season to selling multiple tickets and selling out multiple games in 2 years.
Well,
they went from worst in the league to one of the best.
I'm not disagreeing with that. That's 100% accurate. What I'm saying, national and Canadian viewers are not going to care.
Right.
If Florida makes the final again, nobody's going to care.
I think I'm going to disagree with you on that because Florida has one of the most diverse lineups in the NHL right now in terms of you got players from Europe, all over Europe in that lineup, specifically more in Finland. So it's not going to deter national viewership just because of Florida making the finals.
Who in St. Louis cares about the Florida Panthers? Tell me.
Who in St. Louis? Who cares about St. Louis? We're talking about national. We're talking about national plus international viewership.
National? Aren't they in the middle of the country? Tell me.
We're talking about international viewership, which is Europe, which is what the NHL needs to branch out to.
I'm talking strictly America and Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking strictly America and Canada. And you tell me who's going to care about the Florida Panthers.
You got the state of Florida, you got Georgia, you got South Carolina even, because who in South Carolina likes a North Carolina team?
I live in North Carolina. I mean, I care about. I basically care about the Hurricanes, but nobody else in the country. I mean, I'll fully admit, if the Hurricanes make the final, nobody's going to care.
The thing you got to look at is also the NHL is a way smaller, just a smaller league in general in terms of viewership and fan base. It's been growing, but until Gary Bettman actually does something, it's going to stay this way.
Well, then, add some teams.
We've tried.
Well,
we've tried adding teams. We've tried moving to bigger markets, like moving out of Arizona into Utah, which is a bigger hockey market. And it's just not working. It's not. The biggest market move for the NHL in the last 10 years was the expansion into Vegas, and that's it.
Well, I mean, some of these teams have no business having hockey teams. The Sun Belt teams out west, they have no business having hockey teams. They don't care.
No, they really don't. I
They don't
mean,
care.
they don't have the market for it.
Which is why Arizona was such a flop. But
Well,
when
that
you
was
actually
bad-
got
bad
teams
ownership.
in the South winning championships, these people in these towns are starting to realize, oh wait, we have a hockey team that's good, and that starts to get more tickets and more sales. But that's not how you're going to get more traction to the NHL, is it?
Well,
Because let me ask you, what do you think is the all-time high viewership gets for the NHL?
I have no idea.
It would be playoff time. Every time the playoffs
I thought you
roll
meant
around,
specific playoff.
everybody's watching hockey.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with that. I thought you meant a specific playoff game.
No, there's no specific playoff series because there's a lot of people who are missing football right now, and they're just trying to see what's
No, I'm
on.
not
And a lot
talking
of people
about that.
can't get into the
I
NBA.
thought you meant a specific game or playoff series in the history of the NHL you were talking about.
In generality, I think the biggest series that everyone watches is always Boston-Toronto. Anytime Boston and Toronto play, because that's the biggest markets.
Boston, Toronto, Boston, Montreal.
5 minutes ago, I just said if Toronto doesn't make the final, they're screwed.
A Canadian team hasn't won since 1993.
I'm well aware of that. I know that. Now, but another thing is, if it's an all-Canadian final, which is highly possible right now, then they're cooked again.
Yeah, they really are.
That was kind of one of the reasons why last year was so successful in the playoffs, was because an American team and a Canadian team made the finals.
Well, if you get Toronto versus Edmonton or Winnipeg, then the league is cooked again. I don't care how good McDavid is.
McDavid is overrated, in my opinion.
All right. Well, you're the only one.
But I think a really good finals for the league would be, you got pick one of the bigger of the East teams, and Toronto's looking like they're choking right now. So I'd probably say Carolina is going to the finals. And then the biggest from the West, I can see Edmonton making the finals again. And then that's a pretty good series. Carolina, Edmonton, it's a rematch of 2006.
Okay. Again, tell me who's going to watch that.
A lot of people, because who watches NBA anymore?
I did not say that. You're right about that. When I'm saying who's going to watch that.
I think a good chunk of people will watch it. A great chunk of people, because you got one team from both nations competing in that final, and it allows Canadian viewership to cheer on a Canadian team, except Calgary, because Calgary hates Edmonton naturally. And then with Carolina, you got that whole East Coast that has an ability to cheer on a team. Well, more than likely, your West Coast over in Los Angeles, Seattle are probably going to be cheering on Edmonton.
For any casual NHL fan, tell me if anybody knows where the Carolina Hurricanes are. And I'm talking casual.
I can't speak for somebody who, I can't speak for people who probably aren't even in here. Because I want the NHL to grow, but the thing is, it's hard to explain to somebody who watches the league casually how big everything is. And there's a step that needs to be taken in order for the NHL to even grow more than it is right now. One big thing is keeping the four nations face off. That was a genius idea.
I agree. They actually need to expand it. Should be more than 4.
I think you're probably going to get is 6, because
there's
the only 2 nations that have enough players in order to build a roster, I think, is Latvia and Russia.
Well, how about Slovakia?
Slovakia, 95%. I think the only good Slovakian player is Andrzej Kopitar.
Well,
Everybody else,
that doesn't
you're
mean they
getting
can't
blown
build a
out.
team.
But I see.
But
Czechia is a good one.
They need to add Russia, but they're not going to do that.
Just do the RAF. I don't care how they implement it.
Well, that's just silly. That's being like the Olympics being dumb. I mean,
If
we
it's
all know
the
they're
only
from
way,
Russia.
then who cares anymore?
I mean, in the Olympics, if you're just saying the Russian Federation, I mean, how stupid do we? Do they think people are just stupid? Holding up a white flag? I mean, seriously, we know they're Russian.
I think another good one is Czechia because you got a lot of good Czech players in the league right now.
That's why I'm saying 4 is not enough.
If they can find a way to get 8 nations, perfect. You could do it bracket style. You don't have to do this whole group stage thing. I think a group stage to set the bracket would be nice.
So is the plan next year to have the 4 nations and the Olympics next year?
I don't know how Gary Bettman's going to work that. I don't.
Because it looks like that's kind of the way they're thinking right now.
It's kind of the only way that the game of hockey is going to grow is to have those players represent their nations. And that's what Gary Bettman was really gatekeeping for a long time, was not allowing these players to represent their nations, which was frustrating.
It was stupid not to have the NHL players in the Olympics the last couple games. That was dumb. He can blame himself on that.
But now that rule's finally lifted, I don't know how I feel about it. Because you just got this genius idea to replace the All-Star game, because we all know the All-Star game sucks.
But all All-Star games suck.
The Pro Bowl sucks. The NBA All-Star game sucks. The NHL All-Star game sucks. There was no good alternative until the NHL was like, "Hey,
close to real sport is baseball, and it's not nearly what it used to be."
Yeah, I mean, ratings-wise, watching a lot of these sports, I mean, most everything has gone downhill recently, and that's a shame.
Well, it's like I go back to, there's not a better place to showcase your particular sport. I don't care how big your sport is. If you don't use the Olympics as a tool to showcase your sport, and I don't care whether they won a gold medal or not last year. The WNBA screwed up royally, and Team USA screwed up royally by not having Caitlin Clark on the team last year.
Caitlin Clark is kind of the only reason those ratings even went up in the WNBA.
I'm well aware of that, and that's my point. Why not put her on the team? You can't tell me she's not one of the best 12 players. And even if she's not, but make her the 12th player and just have her sit on the bench. Nobody cares.
Get eyeballs on the sport, and it'll end up,
point.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is, Caitlin should have been on there just for the ratings factor, let alone the fact she can actually ball out with everybody.
Yeah. And all those people last year during the draft, the WNBA draft, I'm talking about last year, when she was drafted, all those people that said she couldn't play in the NBA, are they eating a bunch of crow right now?
Oh, easily.
So why not showcase her in the what's your premier event in women's basketball? The WNBA finals are not the premier event in women's basketball.
No, it's the Olympics.
So why not put her on the team? And you think NBC wouldn't have just drooled over that last year?
Oh, NBC would have had a field day last year.
And you think when the LA Olympics come around in 3 years, that they're not going to tout her to the end of time? Because she's going to be on the LA team, no doubt about it.
Oh, easily.
How much do you think coverage do you think NBC's will give her for them?
There's going to be a lot of coverage for her. I mean, we all know this.
I mean, it's all about whether people like it or not. It's all about money. So why not showcase her, showcase the women's sport, and whatever other sport you have. I don't care who the star is, whether it be Caitlin Clark or anybody else. Showcase your sport.
Yeah.
And it was obvious there was a vendetta against her last year. There were a lot of people who voted against her. Just like now, you can't tell me that it wasn't a slight by the Fever to not make her a part of your preseason promotion when you had the team photo day. How do you not
Yeah,
include her in your team photo?
that was a bit stupid on their part.
I mean, really?
Yeah, that was really stupid. I mean, she's the biggest reason you guys packed houses, and you leave her off?
Not only is she your biggest star, she's the league's biggest star.
Exactly.
And you leave her off your team photo.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It really is. I mean, there have been so many brain dead moves made by teams when it comes down to either roster moves or promotional stuff. And we're just left here wondering, what in the blue hell are they thinking?
Well, it's like I told you all last week when they made the schedule a couple months ago and said that the Fever were going to be on national TV 41 out of 44 times. And people whining about that. I'm whining that they should be on 44 out of 44 times.
It would make more sense for them to be on that many times. I mean, come on here.
I mean, that's the only reason people turn the games on to begin with.
Exactly.
They just had Sunday before last, the highest rating ever for a WNBA preseason game when she went to Iowa and played.
Yeah, and they blew out the Brazilian national team.
Yeah, and she barely even played. Still got a 1.3 million viewers watched.
It doesn't make sense. A lot of these moves are just insane. But yet again, I mean, what can we do about it when it's, the networks are doing one thing and it's just, mind-boggling what they're trying to figure out.
Well, I think we're about ready to see I think it's already started, really. I think we're about ready to see the complete de-emphasis of NBA on Christmas Day.
Yeah, because you've got now 3 games because it's on a Thursday. Christmas is on a Thursday this year. You've got 3 NFL games coming up. I mean, the schedule is going to be released tomorrow. So
the
we'll
ratings
know
for NFL, no matter who plays the NFL versus the NBA game on Christmas Day, it's going to be a slaughter.
I think it was on average 22 million last year per game, compared to what was it, like 3 or 4 for the NBA,
and that's on Netflix.
Exactly. I mean,
where they had a huge jump in subscriptions, by the way, just for so people can watch.
Yeah, and I mean that's the biggest thing is it's all 3 games. All 3 of them are actually going to be on a streaming service. 2 on Netflix and 1 on Amazon Prime. So again, this is one of those where, before you know it, could this be the start of seeing more and more of the Big 4 divisions going into a streaming service?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Check on that. I believe the night games on NBC. I think the other 2 games are on Netflix.
With it being Thursday, last I knew it was going to be on Prime. I think that's what they were saying. But let me just double check that to be sure.
I could be wrong about that. I am. I mean, I fully admit to that, but I could be wrong on that. By the way, full schedule gets announced tomorrow.
Yes, all 3 games the 3 games broadcast are going to be on Netflix and Amazon.
Okay, all right, I'll stand corrected then.
Netflix will have the first 2, and Amazon will have the nightcap.
Okay.
Kickoffs, they're saying, are likely going to be 1 o'clock, 4:30, and 8:20.
Yeah, that stands to reason.
So, like I said, could this basically be the end of sports on cable? Because MLB has gotten away from ESPN, We all know that.
I'm going to be interested to see what happens because they're going to, I don't know when, but sooner or later they're getting ready to announce who's going to take over on Sunday night. I'm going to be interested to see who they're going to choose on Sunday night.
Yeah. Because Lord only knows how this is really going to end up, because the Sunday night games obviously are going to be the biggest ones there. So, but
well,
anyway,
I hope it changes in terms of how they're covered, because if I watch Sunday Night Baseball, and I'm a huge baseball fan, if I watch Sunday Night Baseball, I usually leave it on mute because there's nothing but analytics, and I cannot tell you how little I care about analytics.
dude, analytics can just go screw off for all I care. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's what's ruining the damn sports.
Absolutely.
All right, I just got word from the boss man. His connection went dead, so we're going to have to take a break. Jay, we thank you for coming on like always, bud. Sorry things kind of went a little bit haywire with the boss man dropping out. But
well, that happens. That happens. Technology.
Yeah, ain't it a bitch sometimes?
Yeah.
Hey, we will do this again next week, and hopefully we don't have these problems. But thanks a ton for jumping in with us, Jay.
Not a problem. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you next week, bud.
Oh, man. Bye.
All right, when we get back, the boss man will be back. Enjoyed. You ready to go off on a couple of people?
Maybe.
Oh, gee, that sounds really reassuring. Snowman in the morning, back with the dog and droid in a deuce.
This is Snowman in the morning.
The spirit of battle is a powerful force. It's a force that drives us, pushes us beyond our limits. It's a fire in our hearts that fuels our determination, our commitment, our strive for greatness. Every challenge faced, every obstacle overcome, it sharpens our skills and fortifies our resolve. This relentless pursuit of excellence makes the journey so exhilarating. And the victory, it makes the victory sweet.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do two circles, and that translates to I can beat up black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Weather driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Well, as we're still awaiting the boss man to come back after his connection had completely decided to say screw off. Droid, who did you have to go off on today? Because it sounded like you had some beef with a couple of people.
It's like you look at the league in itself, and you have to wonder, where in the Sam hell did we go wrong?
All right, which league are we talking about first off? Because there's a few places I can go with this.
What do they call me?
So we're talking NHL and that league going off. Okay, well let's do this right then. Let's do this right. If I can find things, since people keep screwing around in the damn truck. Where did that go? I think yep, they moved around everything on me here. And that figures. My truck got hacked, but we all know where this is going. So, all right, talk to me about how things are screwed up in the NHL right now.
It's mainly the fact of the how the playoffs are going right now. You've seen it.
Mm-hmm. That I have. It's pretty bad.
And I don't see a reason why it should be happening in the first place.
Yeah, it just seems like things are always a lot more amplified come playoff season. And we're seeing a lot more holes in things now than what we're used to seeing in the regular season. And that's just the unfortunate thing.
It's the fact of, you look at everything and how it is, and you're just like, why? Why are you letting this happen?
Because they don't give two craps outside of money, and they figure, screw it. If we're making money, everything's fine.
Like,
that's what I can see it for.
I wish I could be nice about it, but they make it very, very hard.
Mm-hmm.
All I want to do is have you take a look at the facts. And that fact is that there's nothing to be proud about right now in terms of the NHL.
No, there really isn't.
Because you got the same 16 teams basically making the playoffs every year. And even if there is a new team, they get shot in the back in the first round. Montreal, Ottawa.
When Boston's made it, they've been lucky to get out of the first round a few times. Shut up, bitch.
I just used my face, didn't say words.
Shut up.
So you shut up.
You shut up.
No, you shut up.
You shut up.
You shut shut up.
You shut up.
Oh, Lord.
Meanwhile, the point is, it's always basically going to come down to the same, let's just say, dozen, with 4 of them, with 4 to 6 rotating every year. I mean, that gets stale after a while.
Not only does it get stale, but it becomes taxing.
Yeah, it really does. And that's
one of the big things I've made clear on the show before is that the NHL needs to expand their market. They need to do what no other league has dared to done, and that's expand to 34 teams.
What are they at now? 32?
32. Just like the NBA and the NFL, 32 respective teams.
Okay, so
you need to go to big markets, big name markets, places where people will actually go to your games. A big untapped market is in Quebec. It's a little place called Quebec City.
So you'd have, what would that be, the 4th or 5th Canadian team up there?
It would be the 8th Canadian team.
Okay.
You only have 7 Canadian teams in the league right now.
Okay. So that would make 8 up north. Okay, put one here in the States. Where would you put it?
Nowhere in the South.
Well, that's a given.
I'm not putting it in the South. I'm looking east, maybe northeast, maybe put another team in Ohio, somewhere in like Cincinnati.
I don't know if I'd go Cincinnati. I mean,
but if there's going to be
barely any turnout for a Bengals game. You think they're going to turn out for a hockey team?
If they actually have a good expansion draft, maybe. I mean, you saw how quick Vegas grew when they were doing well.
Well, they've also got one hell of a market.
To be fair, Vegas is the biggest market, which is why you saw the Raiders move there after they saw the Golden Knights success, which is why the A's are moving there after they saw the Golden Knights success.
Yeah, true.
There is an untapped market, but here's the problem. If you're going to add Quebec City, it kind of forces your hand to do like a central to western team.
Mm-hmm.
You basically have an NFC North in the NHL. You have the Detroit Red Wings, you have the Chicago Blackhawks, you have the Minnesota Wild. How am I forgetting? And then there's one team missing. How is there not a big market team in Wisconsin?
True.
Like, how are the Milwaukee Admirals an AHL team? You make millions off of basically having the NFC North of NHL.
Right.
A decent market, maybe Indianapolis.
I could see.
Or just Indiana in general.
Right.
Or you can expand more into Michigan. There's more places in Michigan you can go than you can think. And you don't even need to name it after the city. You can just call it the Michigan whatever.
Right. I hear you.
And I think the whole point of the AHL and ECHL now is the NHL experimenting with different markets.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like Grand Rapids being a pretty decent one. Rochester. Another one. What's that Americans team called? I think it's literally the Rochester Americans.
I think so, yeah.
Then you also got the Ice Hogs. Brian would like that call out to the Rockford Ice Hogs. And then you got teams like Utica, where it doesn't really seem like a team would be successful or big, and yet it's kind of the opposite. And you look at markets in the ECHL, Brother, I went to one Savannah Ghost Pirates game, and it was sold out. Right. This was a weekday game in the middle of the school year, and it was sold out. Weekday game, middle of the afternoon, and that mug was sold out. Shout out and Market Arena, some of the greatest staff, by the way. But still, Savannah is an unlikely market. But from what I heard, the American market that they're looking to expand into is to take a third shot at ATL.
That didn't work the last 2 times. Why try a third?
Because Atlanta is one of the biggest cities in America that they still haven't tapped into, you know. But I think if you're going to go with big cities, Houston is like what, the 5th biggest city in America?
Something like that, yeah.
And you don't even have a team there. The last team was an AHL team by the Arrows.
Go figure.
So much experimenting going on, and yet there's no moves happening.
No, there really isn't.
The Trois Rivières Alliance in the ECHL is also another team that's been very successful because guess what? It's a team in Quebec. And also, I feel bad for the people who look at the Ontario Reign and think they mean Ontario, Canada. No, they mean Ontario, California, sadly.
Right.
Confusing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
But you have to expand. It's kind of do or die at this point, and you have to expand in the NHL. Yeah. Tap into markets that you haven't tapped into yet. And I say the same thing for the NBA. You have to expand. Yeah, bring a team back to Seattle. That's your first move, is bringing a team to Seattle.
Right. Bring back the Supersonics.
I say don't bring back the Supersonics because, like, not the Supersonics team name. You have to go with a different team name because there was so much great history with the Supersonics, and the Thunder kind of own the rights to the Supersonics name.
I'm sure something could get worked out.
But bring a team to Seattle. I think giving Jersey their own independent team would be nice. I mean, I've seen some great concepts from the NBA community in 2K. You know, you've seen those creative teams for your franchise mode.
True.
Or what was it called? My League? Yeah, I think it's called My League. And I've seen concept teams for Vancouver. I've seen Montreal concept teams, New Jersey, Kansas City. I've seen so many great concepts. And I'm like, geez, maybe they should hire the NBA 2K community to do these designs. Because, oh my God, the Kodiaks? That's a unique name.
That sounds like something that's up north.
Yeah, that's in Vancouver.
The Vancouver Kodiaks. That could be interesting.
And it's kind of a play on the old Vancouver Grizzlies stuff.
Yeah.
So that would be probably one of the big marketing problems. But another one, the Kansas City Reign, New Jersey Ignite. I even saw, a very cheesy name, but it still works. The Pittsburgh Power.
Mm-hmm.
You have so many different concepts to work with. And what are you doing? Nothing.
Yeah. Good God, boss man. What the hell happened?
Welcome back, Brian. Right now, we're talking about the need for expansion within the NBA and NHL to keep the leagues alive.
Fuck that shit.
What if I said, one of the big moves would be bringing Seattle back?
Seattle should have never gone away in the first place.
Well,
I understand that.
City. I'm going to go completely off here. I am emotional. I am very emotional. Y'all gonna have to forgive me because I haven't been on the show for a few minutes. I am logically, I'm locked in. Okay. Trust me. Logically, I'm locked in. Okay. I just wanted to give that disclaimer before I say this. Fuck Oklahoma City. Fuck them. The Oklahoma
Isn't the
City
league kind of saying that because isn't Denver up 3-1 in that series?
No, it's 2 even. OKC won 92-87 on Sunday. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for my predisposed rant or for my return emotional rant because of what just happened here with our electronics here in the household. I'm worried about my wife for tomorrow. She's getting ready for a procedure. I'm just trying to breathe right now. You know what I need?
You know what? I need to cheer you up. So I've been hiding something from you, sir.
You know, and I don't call you my son for nothing. What have you been hiding from me, and how quick am I going to yank your hair out before I get it?
So a couple weeks back, I sent a shot in the dark to an email, a little shot in the dark to a big member of the NFL community, massive member.
I've taken a few of those.
And I got a response.
Okay.
Does the name Tom Grossi mean anything to you?
Fuck yeah, it does.
We're looking into possibly late June, early July for Snowman Multimedia X Tom Grossi.
Don't you play with me. Don't play with
me. As soon as I got the response, I called Shane, I called Victor, and I was like, I'm going to try and keep this hidden as long as I humanly can.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Shane, you can confirm I called you ecstatic.
Yep.
You know what? That does make me smile. And Cole Johnson, thank you. You need to turn that into a public service announcement. What I said. You know what? Why?
Ray needs to say it. I need to hear Ray say it.
Why am I laughing right now? Thank you. Thank you all for being patient with me.
I need to hear Ray say "fuck the Thunder." I need to.
You just might get that.
I'm still concerned about what the evil one's going to do here with the father.
But yeah, I'm very happy to say that a man who was announced the pick at the NFL draft, a man who won NFL Fan of the Year last year,
and well
deserved. Actually, it's a couple years back now, but it felt like last year. He's raised millions of dollars for cancer research.
Mm-hmm. And that's the point. That's the pattern I want to follow. That part right there. Because
that was actually the reason I wanted to bring him on was not because he's Tom Grossi. It was because of what he's done for cancer research and cancer patients around the world.
Dig it. And being a
but
member.
Back to what I was saying about expansion. It's kind of do or die for both leagues. It's kind of what it feels like.
Let me put it another way. As Ryan McCarthy said a few years ago, and Mr. McCarthy, you'll love me for this, as he was on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and we brought up a certain face. Dad.
Yep.
It's gone. Done. I mean, Paul, are you kidding me?
I think I will be so frustrated if either the PWHL or WNBA comes to Kansas City before the NBA. I'm going to be pissed.
Why?
Because I want a reason to go to Kansas City besides the Royals or the Chiefs. Because, when you watch football games and baseball games so much, it becomes taxing when that's kind of the only thing you can watch.
You know something, Droid? I would love for the Kings to come back to Kansas City or an NBA franchise to come back to Kansas City. But let me explain something to you. Now, remember, there's a big age difference between us, and this is from my eyes and my eyes only. Okay? The NBA fucked up when they let the Kings move. Because
who in their right mind is a Sacramento Kings fan unless you live in Sacramento?
Bingo. right.
If you live in California, you're either a Clippers fan, a Lakers fan, or a Warriors fan. You are not a Kings fan. And don't go telling me you're a Kings fan, because if you're a Kings fan, you're a Los Angeles Kings fan. And I'm going to make that clear.
And I'll add this. Even the Sacramento-based fans, after 2002, all the love for the Sacramento Kings went out the fucking window, and David Stern has a lot to do with that.
The highest I think the Sacramento Kings were on was when they made the plan and then made the first round.
Actually, that's incorrect, because this is why I mentioned 2002. They got as far as the Western Conference Finals.
And then
they had a 3-2 lead against Kobe, Shaq, and the Lakers. And then Game 6 happened. And Droid, I have a homework assignment for you. Look up Game 6. Look up the stat. Do your complete research, because I know how you are when you do your complete research. Not only look at the stats, but look beyond the stats. Okay.
But I told this to Shanner earlier. Mm-hmm. The 2K community is very creative. That's why I love the community so much in 2K. Yeah, there's a lot of toxic guys when you go play telling you you're trash. But when you look at the My League, which is the whole franchise mode thing, the amount of custom teams I've seen, it's shocking. Like, you see Vegas teams, Kansas City teams, new Canadian teams like Vancouver. I've seen Vancouver concept teams. And it makes me think, if the NBA just took a second to actually look at their game and see these creative minds, imagine the brand rise that the NBA could have.
Yeah, but that would take common sense. And the NBA don't have
You just stole my point, Shane. It would take common sense, and they simply do not have it anymore.
Like, one of my favorite My League teams I ever worked on was a team called the Kansas City Reign. Beautiful color scheme, yellow, black, and white. The logo is amazing. The expansion draft was a bit confusing, because how do you let Fred VanVleet and Zach LaVine go to a new team, an expansion team nonetheless?
Kind of reminds you of the NBA draft lottery, doesn't it?
Don't. We touched on that with Spivey. Don't get me started.
I'm kidding. You
kid. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Why don't you think so? Hey, you brought the voice out first. I responded in kind. Okay.
Listen, I think another great concept team was the Nets. I'm going to make this clear. The Nets should have never gone to Brooklyn. They should have stayed in Jersey.
Thank you very much.
That's two teams there's two teams that should have never been forced to move out of where they played. The New Jersey Nets and the Seattle Supersonics. You could argue Kansas City Kings, but to be fair, I don't think without a Lamar Hunt Jr. to fund that team, who's gonna own that team, huh?
And that's one of the reasons I can understand from a logical standpoint of why Kansas City left for Sacramento. But to repeat your point, Droid, unless you live in the capital city, you cannot honestly say you're a Sacramento Kings fan. And again, I bring up the case of 2002, the Western Conference Finals Game 6. That game right there, and let me stay with that for a minute. That game right there destroyed the Kansas City. Dog, I hate you, Droid, for that. Destroyed the Sacramento Kings fan base. Now I can't stop saying Kansas City Kings, because that's what I knew them as. When I first got into the NBA, they were the Kansas City Kings. And if you want to go a bit further than that, before 1981, they were the Kansas City / Omaha Kings, because they couldn't find a home aside of before they moved into, what's the name of that joint? Kemper Arena.
Kemper Arena. I knew it was on the tip of your tongue, so I didn't want to hop in. But now we have two arenas in Kansas City. We have Hy-Vee Arena and T-Mobile Center. T-Mobile Center is the bigger of the two.
Awesome. T-Mobile Center. They would have such an awesome time drawing fans to the T-Mobile Center, because the Kansas City fan base is rabid. And I mean that in a good way.
They're diehard.
Yeah, that they are. That they are. When wife and I recently went to Kansas City, and she surprised me with a tour of the K.
Yeah, you told me about this.
Yeah. She surprised me with a tour of Kauffman Stadium, and some of the fans were there. They were getting ready for a game that night. I believe they were playing the Angels. And man, some of the fans that I talked to there is what Droid just said. They're diehards. And by the way, Droid, I just happened to turn around as I'm getting a good shot of Kauffman Stadium. My wife tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Turn around." What do I turn around? What do I see when I turn around? Arrowhead Stadium.
Yeah, because of that whole agreement for the sports complex to have both the K and to have also Arrowhead in the same like general area.
Is that the big contention of why the Royals want to move downtown? Is that a big contention of it? Because of the proximity of Arrowhead?
No, it's money, and you know it.
Okay. I wanted that confirmation. All right. I wanted that confirmation because I didn't understand, because I thought if you have the K and Arrowhead Stadium right across from each other, you have a gold mine. But this is me.
But Lamar Hunt wants to make more money, so he's trying to move the team downtown. But Missouri governor said no. Now he's trying to get the Kansas governors on their side, so the team moves to KCK instead, which is going to tank their overall just traction. Because if the Sporting Kansas City can barely sell out Children's Mercy Park, what makes you think the Royals are going to sell out in KCK?
They're not, because all the Royal fans are in Missouri.
Kansas Speedway even barely sold out. And by the way, congratulations to Kyle Larson on another amazing win in Kansas.
Yeah, that joint looked a little bit more than half empty Sunday afternoon.
But I make this very clear when I say this. I kid when I say that KCK sucks, because I love KCK, in my opinion. The Nike stores over there, just outside the Speedway. Yeah. I go there sometimes, get myself a new pair of shoes. But you cannot look me in the eyes and tell me that you genuinely think the Kansas City Royals will be able to sell out
unless
a new stadium, because it's not going to be Kauffman anymore. That's the thing.
No, it's not. It's not, unless they roll over from Missouri and go sell out KCK. That's like asking old school athletics fans to sell out the Potential, and I repeat the word and capitalize the word potential, in Vegas, in which there is none for baseball in Vegas, because we're hopping all the way around here, folks. I don't think that will happen. Let's stay in Kansas City. Don't go to Kansas Royals, please. I just got my tour of Kauffman Stadium. The hot dog stand and everything. The hot dog place out in center field, the Royals Hall of Fame, the press boxes. And I got to tell you all about that part of that part of the tour. When we got to Kansas City that morning and pulled up in front of Kauffman Stadium, I'm like, why are we here? And then Jody looks at me and goes, surprise. And that's when the committee came out to meet me. And Jody was tired, and she says, I'm not going to be able to walk the stadium because my knees are shot. And I said, that's fine. So she stretched out and she took a nap. I'm thinking I'm going to see the mezzanine. I'm going to see the bleachers, Crown Vision, just get the basic tour. When I told my tour guide that I beat cancer and that I'm in remission, she says, I got a present for you. Walked in the elevator and all the way up to the media floor. What?
Nice.
She says, oh yeah, fine. She says, oh yeah, got more for you. Want to have a Coke with it? What? They had the fountains on, and I took a shot of the fountains. I took a shot of Crown Vision. But I was in both press boxes, especially I was in the Royals radio press box. Ryan Lefebvre and Denny Matthews share a microphone. That's nostalgia for me.
Oh, yeah.
Having a chance finally to see Kauffman Stadium. And yes, the whole time, Droid, I said Kauffman Stadium. I was tempted to say Royal Stadium because they had a shot in the locker room that said Royal Stadium, but I was nice. I said Kauffman. But to get back to Droid's point about them being able to sell out a baseball stadium in Kansas City, Kansas, I don't think it'll happen. Not on a consistent basis.
No.
Not on a consistent basis.
No. I mean, that would be asking way too much.
Wouldn't it?
It's already asking way too much.
Mm-hmm. If the Kings were ever to return to Kansas City, they got to sell out crowd base in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is move to T-Mobile Center. You got all the bells and whistles. Right? Yep. Bring the cowbells and the clappers. And yes, I've seen them. You bring them all to T-Mobile. I mean, I love Kemper Arena, but Kemper Arena's had its time.
You know what this place needs? More cowbell.
Let's take a break. And thank you all for being patient with me. When we come back, we know what the first game of the NFL season is. And old Snowman's going to have some fun with it.
Oh, brother.
Back
Back
in
in
a
the deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
During bad, SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far. A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
Join Ryan McCarthy.
I became a Jets fan because Kermit the Frog was my favorite Muppet because he was green, and the Jets wore green. That's how I became a Jets fan.
And Dustin Henry.
ESPN is cashing all in on let's pay a few personalities and we'll just kind of fill in the gaps.
As they walk you through all of the world of sports from their perspective.
The Albany Empire, it's a literal circus.
No credentials required. Where, Ryan, say the tag.
Where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. On YouTube and where you can find all podcasts. Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Coming up tomorrow.
This moment of bronze sexual stupidity is brought to you by Hooked on Bronix. When you start talking like an idiotic bronze sexual, Hooked on Bronix can set you right. Call 1-800-YO-KAY. Real LJPM, now approve all this.
That's tomorrow. But I have a little trivia. And I also have this offer as well. My wife found something, my eagle-eyed wife. She said, Snowman, yes, darling, this is a way for you to bring in a little cash for us. Unfortunately, for about a year and a half, I dropped the ball. I'm going to pick it up today. If you are one of the first 100 people to join the channel between today and Memorial Day, or if you drop a donation via Cash App, I will make sure that you get one of these.
Nice.
Yep. You become a Snowme. You become one of the Snowmies if you join the channel for as low as $2.99. That's a Snowman Multimedia between today and Memorial Day. We're looking for the first 100 to do so. So as low as $2.99, when you join the channel, you not only get the perks that are described on the channel, one of those t-shirts will be awaiting for you. And speaking of my eagle-eyed wife, she calls me her dragon, so she also found this.
Nice.
Now, y'all ain't getting this. This is mine. I'm keeping this.
Yeah.
But yeah, those t-shirts, they were waiting for you if you join the channel between today and Memorial Day. Looking for the first 100 to do so. All right. So I got a message last night.
Okay.
We know what the first game of the NFL season is. And speaking of the NFL season's games, tomorrow is the schedule release.
Yep. First game of the season. Sorry, Vic.
The first game of the season features the Dallas Cowboys. That's good news for them.
Bad news
Here's
is
the bad news. They have to go to South Philly and face the defending world champion Philadelphia Eagles.
like I said, sorry, Vic. You know what's going to happen after they get their tail ends handed to them in game one, right?
Oh, they're going to listen. Okay, Victor.
No. It's going to turn into this.
This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation.
And it's going to turn into Victor repeatedly saying, "Get me out of here!" Now, I propose a schedule change.
Okay, I'm listening.
Now, we got to keep the Cowboys' NFC East opponents. They see them twice a year.
Yes.
Okay. Matter of fact, Shane, pull up the Cowboys' opponents, will you please?
Give me a second, yeah.
We got to keep the NFC East opponents the same for the Cowboys, so they can get swept by all of them. Why? Because yes, Dak, it is you. It has often been you. It always will be you. Amen. You got the schedule? I got the.
I'm trying to find it
opponents?
right now. Here we go.
Oh God, don't sound like Dak, will you please? No, I'm kidding.
Here we go. Okay. Everything seems to have been changed up here a little bit on me. Oh my God. Gerald, what did you do?
What in the all types of blue hell?
What happened?
Oh, let me see if I can actually find it here. Okay, I've got it now.
Okay.
All right. The home opponents were the Giants, Eagles, Commanders, Packers, Chiefs, Chargers, Vikings, and Cardinals. While
Okay,
on the
leave that part alone. Leave that part alone. Because except for the Cardinals, they're gonna lose them all.
now on the road, they're facing,
Oh,
of course.
Android, I want your Chiefs to hand the Cowboys a shutout loss.
Unfortunately, that can't happen because we have the most mid wide receivers in the league.
I did,
but
Makes
I
them
actually
close.
wanted to talk about wide receivers. In terms of the NFL, why do the Dolphins have like the three best?
And can't do anything with them.
You got Hill, you got Waddle, and now you got Nick Westbrook Akine.
Mid, except for no, save Hill and Waddle. I don't know about Westbrook Akine. What are the road opponents for the Cowboys?
Road opponents: Giants, Eagles, Commanders, Bears, Broncos, Lions, Raiders, Jets, and Panthers.
I have a proposal. Flip one of those. Take the Bears out of the equation. Get them the hell out of there.
Okay.
And insert
who?
Look at my face.
Why do you want to punish Victor?
Well, one, because we have George Kittle. Two, we have Brock Purdy. And three, I know it'll happen because the opponents have already been set. I know that, and I realize that. And Joy, what kind of caffeine are you drinking? Cherry Dr. Pepper. Now I'm gonna have to try that. Damn you.
It's good. It used to be the black boxes, but they changed all the branding to all be similar. So the classic black cherry Dr. Pepper boxes and cans are gone. Gonzo, nada.
Of course, you want to attack my Cowboys when I'm not there. Vic, we attack your Cowboys when you are here.
Unfortunately, I have some bad news for Panthers fans.
What's that?
Evan Rodriguez has not been cleared to play Game 5 against Toronto.
Oh boy. That's in Canada. Victor's response to my proposal. No, absolutely not.
You can take that.
Let's have a little fun. Let's have a little fun. If you could switch one opponent on your team's schedule and insert an opponent you know you can beat, who is it?
I'm inserting this clown.
Ain't nobody calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, are you still involved?
Turn it off! Damn it!
We know we can beat him.
I know. You know what? I have a better proposal.
What's that?
We play the Cowboys twice within the span of 4 weeks. Once in Arlington and once in Santa Clara.
You did that last year.
Listen, will you? We play them twice within a 4-week span. And it goes worse than what happened when they played Detroit, then got a week off, then had to play San Francisco. Will that ever happen? No. I know
You just want to maul the Cowboys, don't you?
There's a few teams I want to maul. Like the Bears. And the Bears got to come see us again.
Victor's saying they might actually have a chance against New England. I mean,
you know what? How to piss off a Patriot fan and a Cowboy fan in one sentence.
Scoreless time.
Thank you.
That game is going to be a scoreless tie, whether you like it or not.
Even with overtime. No. Even better. I'm messing with you, Shane. Scoreless tie, and they don't play the fourth quarter.
Shut up, bitch.
Thunder strikes about 10 miles outside the stadium.
And you
But
play.
by the way, yes, the NFL does do rain delays. You just don't see it often because you don't often have thunderstorms hitting mid-game.
But they
And,
do have
and most of those arenas are closed arenas.
Mm-hmm.
As we are starting to get into the new era.
Yep. And the contingencies are in place. I was a part of a couple of them. Those contingencies are in place in case of lightning or torrential rain, no matter where they play and no matter what league. I saw it at all three levels. Now, here's what you do.
Except the NHL because obvious reasons.
They're in the arena. And the only way that NHL game gets delayed is if the ice surface is not up to standard, because there are some arenas.
Also, maybe the broken glass is another thing.
Broken glass.
Although
The
nowadays
ice
it just fragments. It doesn't even shatter.
Yeah, it's more of a
Lexan.
Thank you. I can't think of the word that I need to.
It's the same shit that's in the stock car windshields, dude.
But something that really caught my eye recently has been people are saying Trey Harris, the Ole Miss wide receiver that got drafted by the Chargers, is going to be a future practice squad player. Huh?
We'll see. That's all I'll say to that. Victor chimes in. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Why are you kicking me today? We're not kicking you. Matter of fact, I'm going to kick Shane when I say this. New England has to see George the Animal Kittle twice. Shut up.
What?
And I remind you, Shane, of that incredible catch Kittle made against three defenders.
Stop it. Get some help.
Bitch,
Honestly,
you saw
out
it.
of all the wide receiver cores in the NFL, who do you think is the most impressive post-draft?
I don't have an answer. I'll see the answer in August. Because you can say whatever you want about who teams have as their receiving core on paper, but you won't really know until you see it in camp. So I'll give my answer in August. Hell, I'll wait until Labor Day to give my answer. I know one of them it ain't. No, I'm not talking about the Chiefs. I'm talking about the Browns.
The Browns are a complete dumpster fire. The hell are you talking about?
Well, we already know that.
There's only one good wide receiver on the Browns.
What, the front office?
No, Jerry Jeudy. Jeudy is a proven talent.
Who's he?
You know who he is, and don't you play with me on that. Don't you play with me on that.
Exactly
But
who he is.
I see Jerry Jeudy getting traded.
English, do you speak it?
I will keep my mouth shut.
No, I speak French. No, I speak French. I think Jerry Jeudy going to get traded.
I don't remember asking you a thing.
But
Right,
I
think
absolutely, I'm going to deter away from American football for a second. During the American UCL coverage, the Champions League coverage, there is a team in France who go by Brest.
What?
Brest.
What?
And Thierry Henry, a legend, by the way, and I think this other dude were making just constant jokes about it.
You know, I
If somebody can find that clip of them trying so hard not to laugh.
I got something better. Let's pause. And when we come back, we'll close the show with my most embarrassing moment in 30 years of broadcasting. And y'all are going to absolutely enjoy it. Back in a few.
This is Snowman in the morning.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family. So the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner! Go?
Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Meanwhile, as we await the boss to come back for the most embarrassing moment, I'm trying to think if I've ever had any besides. Oh, I really have no idea, to be honest. I've lost track of moments, to be honest with you guys. I mean, I've had a few of them on air. I don't know. It's just been way too much, to be honest. But hopefully things end up going a little bit better coming up as the boss man has come back.
Okay.
So what's this embarrassing moment you've got?
You know, the story that Droid mentioned before we went to break?
Mm-hmm.
The year was 2003. I was at Chicago State in a class directed by the late, great Herb Kent.
Okay.
And Professor Kent got this idea of reenacting a popular radio series called The Shadow and doing it in radio form, like the script, everything. All right. I walk into class one day and he's handing out parts and scripts and everything. And then I greet him. First time I've met him. And he said, I think I found the voice of the Shadow. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And I had to think about it. And he's, oh, that. Okay. I can do that. What's up, Jamie? I can do that. So 6 weeks go by. We're rehearsing on an almost daily basis. So we get to the practice reading, one of the final practice readings before performance. I read that script 100 times. 100 times. And we get up, I get to the stage. We're doing the read and we're getting to the final act. The final act. And I breezed through this script. Breezed through it.
Yeah.
Until
we
get to the fight scene. And the line I was supposed to read, pay attention, folks, the line that I was supposed to read included the phrase beasts of prey.
Oh no.
Yeah, you're right, Jamie. Until I actually read the thing and I'm looking at it. I'm holding the script in my hand and I'm looking at it. I'm reading through everything and it's about my cue and I'm waiting on Professor to give me the cue. He gives me the cue. I go through the line and I insert an R where there wasn't supposed to be.
Oh.
So instead of saying beasts of prey,
whoops.
I put an R in there, and in front of the microphone, I said breasts of prey. The entire class lost it. And just to show you how I was back then, I was so focused on getting the lines right and the timing and everything that I didn't realize I had committed one of the worst bloopers of my life. I'm sitting there in tears. Hand to God, I'm sitting there in tears until my friend Bobby pulls me aside, and he says, do you know what you just did? I say, yeah, I messed up. I look over at Professor Kent, and he's cracking up laughing. And everybody's like encouraging me, and I love them all. And then Bobby pulls me aside and said, read that again. What? I went back and read it. I dropped the script and I walked out laughing. I didn't realize what I said.
Oh boy.
Big oops.
I would say so.
I don't know what the hell I was thinking about that day. Or more to the point, why the hell I was thinking about it
that day.
I still cannot tell you some 22 years later why that crept in my head.
Right.
And the bad part is I had my glasses on too.
Mm-hmm.
I had my glasses
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
Jamie, I can't even argue with that. And the bad part is I can't tell you why. I didn't have any date scheduled for that evening. I had to travel later that night because I had a game to do down in Champaign, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't believe to this day how much it makes me laugh out loud. Forget giggling, laugh out loud that I said that. I said that aloud.
Right.
That's why I can never look at the phrase beasts of prey the same ever again. Ever. Because it'll bring me back to that moment. Maybe there was a chick with a low cut shirt in front. Jamie, I wish I could tell you why that slipped. Why that phrase slipped out. I wish I could tell you. Even my wife asks me to this day, how did that come out instead of what was on the script? Baby, I don't know.
I don't know.
And once she asked me that, she said, "You sure I wasn't there?" I said, "Baby, if you were there, we'd have been gone."
Right.
I made an incorrect tease. Tomorrow we will not be on because my wife's due for a procedure at 9 a.m. and I have to drive her back home. But if I am back here within the 11 o'clock hour, we'll do an express version. But other than that, just be prepared for us to be on Thursday. Now, I found out a Colts opponent.
Oh.
They're going overseas to play Atlanta.
Who the hell thought that'd be a good draw?
Atlanta.
Like I said, who thought that'd be a good draw for an overseas
You
game?
mean we got to fly all the way overseas? I got to get up at 9:30 in the morning to call that game, and it's the Atlanta Falcons? Really?
Who thought that was a good idea? Like, come on here. That's just stupid.
So I'll be doing 3 games that day.
Mm-hmm.
I got Colts and the Falcons. I got the 49ers that afternoon, and of course, Sunday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
As we mentioned, Eagles and Cowboys will open the schedule. Chiefs and Broncos will play on Christmas. Do you think Pitts returns to his rookie form? No. No. Because they're going to discover another receiver and use him. Eagles and Grossi and the Packers will play in week 10. Chiefs and Chargers will play in Brazil. Oh, my God. In Brazil.
Chiefs and Chargers in Brazil.
The Bills and Bengals will play in week 9. Eagles and Redskins, as well as the Bears and Packers, will play on Fox in week 16. And then on Black Friday, and I ain't getting out of bed for this one because it's going to be a blowout. You know who plays on Black Friday? The Bears and the Eagles.
Yeesh. And I'm looking at this as well now. The Broncos Chiefs are going to be the late game for Christmas. Wow.
Oh, no.
Who thought any of this was a good idea?
I'm still tripping that we got to go play the Falcons overseas.
That don't feel bad. Don't feel bad, dude. The Vikings and the Browns have a game overseas, and then the Vikings might as well stay over there because the week prior they got the Steelers.
Now that's some bullshit.
Okay, and get this. I'm looking at this now. The Broncos and Jets are overseas week 6. The Rams and Jaguars are overseas week 7.
Now that's some bullshit.
Oh no, you want to know what's worse? How about the Commanders and Dolphins overseas? Weeks what is this? Week 11, week 12, something like that? Yeah.
Give me this. We got a few minutes. And I'm pulling this up now. Come on, open up. Okay, wait a minute.
What?
So the
What?
Vikings and Steelers.
Week 4.
Week 4. In
Overseas.
Dublin.
They're playing in Dublin. Ew.
At a place called Croke Park. I wish I was making this up. Croke Park. It's probably pronounced different.
No, you pretty much got it. It's a Gaelic Games stadium in Dublin. It's locals. The locals just refer to it as the Croker.
And then the Vikings got to play Cleveland in London.
The Croker actually holds about 83,000 people.
My fault. I take it back. So the Vikings got to go back to back, which means Paul Allen's, we mean this kiddingly, which means Paul Allen's drinking bill is going to be off the charts.
It's going to be off the charts in Ireland alone.
Mm-hmm. I mean, wouldn't it be for you? You're over in Ireland. Now, do I recommend announcers do this? No. This is just me having fun as an announcer. You're going over to Dublin.
You're going to pull a Pat McAfee?
How many pints are they going to bring you in the booth?
Well, if you ask Pat McAfee to do it, he'll bring you about 7 or 8. And then he'll drink them all with you.
Harry Carey, God bless you. We got to get out of here.
Yeah, by the way, their Vikings game that they're playing against Cleveland is in the Northumberland Development Project, which is 62,000 people could be seated in that arena.
And then the Colts have got to play the Falcons at Olympic Stadium in Berlin.
You're fired!
To whoever made that schedule.
Yeah,
whatever. We got to split. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are simply not big enough. If the schedule doesn't scare you, then good on you. And if you're not Tuukka Rask and you see Dave Bolin in front of you and you're not scared, the hell's wrong with that?
Man, shut up!
What they say?
What they know damn well what you said.
It's not like I said Bickle and Bolin in front of Trask. Bye.
Get out of here.
My first score prediction of the year. Colts 62, Atlanta -5.
You fool!
I know.